Hello and welcome to this case study video. Recently we worked with a fractional product manager wanting extra sales appointments, and in this video I'll walk you through the strategy, the implementation, the results and everything in between. Let's get started. We won't say the client's name or state for confidentiality, but we will show you everything that's important and really get into the details so you can visualize what this process would look like for you. The client was US based, had lots of experience as a product manager, but was fairly new to doing it fractionally. As a fractional exec yourself, you may certainly relate to this, or maybe you have lots of experience working fractionally already, which is even better. So what were our goals? What were we mutually looking to get from this? We wanted to book qualified sales appointments, that's the main thing. We wanted to build a network to facilitate future business to flow in easier, and we wanted to create a winning formula. A formula and strategy that works not just as a one-off. We were able to book appointments, we'll talk about the specific numbers later, but we were able to get to 5 per week and beyond that within the 6 weeks. We built a network, meaning both prospects that could be converted into deals at a later stage, and other fractional product managers that could join the business. And we created a winning formula. After testing different audiences and messages, we got to a good flow of qualified sales appointments being booked. So the first step, once we've received payment and any appropriate agreements are signed and we're good to go, we always start off with an onboarding call. On that call, this is the information we're looking for. So for this particular client, the offer was fractional product management, which when it comes to strategy is going to be fairly similar to a fractional CMO or CRO or whatever type of fractional executive you are. Mostly because even though, of course, the role of a fractional CMO and CTO, for example, are completely different, you have a lot of the same selling points. You're providing less risk, more flexibility. You're both only going to be working with companies that can afford you but don't need someone full-time, etc. What's the use case? For this, there were two. Cash cow products that really don't need the hours of a full-time product manager anymore, and new unproven products that maybe aren't going to last that long. And it would be a big risk to hire someone full-time for maybe 200k per year plus any redundancy if the product only lasts maybe 6 months or so. The target market was mostly undefined, and what I mean by that is we knew we should be targeting the software industry, whether that's fintech, martech, anything consumer like a marketplace for example, and our client generally believed the most likely clients were going to be profitable or significantly funded, 1 to 15, maybe $1 to $20 million annual revenue, and quite agile in their business model. But there are quite a few different niches within that, and this was all an educated guess on what the best markets were going to be, so we certainly had some room to play with and test. Who in the company do we want to get the calls booked with? Who is going to be the key decision maker that we really need to be in front of? Generally, it's going to be the director of product management or a similar title. And aside from that, it's going to be the founders or the other usual titles, whether that's president, CEO, managing director, etc. Experience. So what experience did our client have? Over 12 years full-time as a product manager in SaaS firms and had 3 fractional clients under his belt. But the previous/existing fractional clients were all referrals and friends, so there was no real pattern there to pick up on. The USP was similar to most fractional services, limited risk and more flexibility for the client, get top level expertise for a fraction of the price, since you only need them for a fraction of the time. Fractional product management, however, is newer to the market than a fractional CMO or CTO, for example, which makes it a bit more of a harder sell, but there is also less competition. The objections we were forecasting were that fractional isn't going to be enough, they're not going to be on site, there may be a lack of product or industry knowledge, etc. A great tactic actually in your intro message to prospects is to answer an objection before it's even asked. So whether you work with us or not, there's a good tactic for you. Qualifiers. Our client really just wanted to make sure the location was the US, the industry was indeed software, and we were booking calls with genuine decision makers, which generally comes down to their title, as previously discussed. Finally, dislikes. Everyone has a certain talking style. Everyone has phrases and words they use more than others. But more importantly, everyone has things they would never say and would even cringe at if they heard themselves saying them. In this case, the approach the client did not want to take was the classic, just networking, or I just wanted to connect. So we took that into consideration when we were crafting our messaging. As you can see, we like to get a great amount of information before starting. Great marketing is individualized, and we can only do that if we have this level of information to work from. Step 2, strategy creation, the fun part. If we've had a call with each other already, you've probably seen this document. It's our signature solution, the conversations at scale process. So the starting 3 steps are identifying the audiences, selecting the platform, which is usually LinkedIn, but sometimes we like to couple that with email, then mapping out the messaging. On this occasion, our client wanted to handle the replies, so we didn't have to do that part. Usually all that would be is getting the prospect booked onto a call, or maybe answering 1 or 2 questions before that, or qualifying them with the pre-agreed qualifiers. We started with 2 audiences. The first was targeting the director of product management in US-based software firms with a 1 to 50 headcount. The second was founders of 1 to 50 headcount software companies in our client's state, which is redacted. To you, this may seem quite niche down, or it could seem quite wide. Generally, based off of the info we had, we would say it's quite wide. But that allows us to start wide and then tighten. We're also testing 2 different decision makers. We're seeing if the location will make a difference. Will the leads from our client's state be more interested because he's local? We can also learn from what type of SaaS company takes interest and if there's any pattern there. The point is, it's open to change and it's open to test what works and see if we can pick up on any patterns. The good thing is that it gave us results quickly that we could work from and amend as appropriate. So what messaging did we use? We used these 2 messages and the 2 on the coming slide. You can see we've used a few tactics such as relatability, we're instilling some curiosity into them, etc. These were the other 2 messages we used for the first couple of weeks. So that's 2 messages for each audience. You'll also see we're testing entirely different styles and lengths of messaging. We're showing we know the prospect's obstacles and we're showing them the way out. That last one, we opted to give them that fear of missing out. As you can see, we have a variety of different strategies we like to put into crafting these intro messages. These are the main 3 we use, but there are others you can throw into the mix. Feel free to pause at any time and read through things. Step 3, we know what we're doing, now we just need to go and do it. Week 1, these were the outreach numbers. The great thing about the way we implement our process is that you can build up a good sample size quite quickly, which means you can amend your strategy fast without rushing it and altering things too quickly. Week 2, we increased our group messaging a little bit. We can't increase our invitation outreach because you only get 100 per week. But we do, however, have a secret little group messaging strategy where you can message prospects without using invitations to connect or in-mails. Review. After the 2 weeks, we looked at the stats of what was working and what wasn't, and we spoke to our client to get his thoughts as well. We decided to target 200 to 5,000 headcount businesses. We added an extra decision maker title that we thought would work well and added a new intro message too. The intro message we created was made to be similar to the one that was working the best. We added a targeting filter for companies hiring product managers at that time. Now you can't do that on LinkedIn with Sales Navigator. We have a separate software we use to filter and niche down even deeper than what Sales Navigator can do. In one intro message we were using just wasn't working well, so we removed it. Implementation for week 3 and week 4 looked like this. It looks complicated, but we track everything to keep it all under control. You'll see the collective outreach is always increasing throughout the 6 weeks, but we do it gradually so as to not alert or annoy LinkedIn. In week 4, we reviewed again. We made some further changes and implemented them over week 5 and 6. And the reason we review so consistently is that all marketing campaigns can become successful eventually, but if you review consistently, as long as you have a good enough sample size each time you review, you can learn quicker, improve quicker, get results quicker, which all saves you time and money. That's why we do it. So what results did we get? This is probably what you've been waiting for this entire time. Week 1 and 2 each produced 2 calls booked. Week 3 and 4 we climbed to 3, then 5. Week 5 had 5 calls booked in it, and we ended the 6th week with 7 calls booked in that week alone. That's 24 altogether, unless my math is failing me. Qualified calls as well, not just calls with anyone. You saw the targeting, you know who we were booking calls with. And bear in mind, this is all without using any bots or automation. We don't use any of that. Using LinkedIn bots allows for less personalization and puts your account at risk. If you want to use a bot because you maybe don't have that much time, then fair enough. But we're giving you a quality personalized service that consistently produces results. Hence why we don't just set up a quick bot and get back to trying to acquire more clients for ourselves. There's plenty of companies out there already if you want to go with that type of option. We also work on smaller commitments, so you aren't signing your life away on something you don't really know that well yourself yet. So in the end, we hit our goals, we booked appointments, we built a network and had a positive impact on the client's LinkedIn account that will be there forever. He won't lose those connections and relationships created, and we created a winning formula because we booked a fantastic amount of qualified sales appointments. What impact would that amount of qualified sales appointments with the decision makers you want to be speaking to have on you? What would that do for you? How much would it be worth to you, even if you close just 1 or 2 clients from it? Whatever the answer is, I hope this video helps you gain an understanding of how we work, how the process would look for you, and what results are attainable. Thanks for watching and speak soon.